Okay. This is number 14 of Ask Me Why I Was Fired. We're going to start here. I'm going to start with when I got written up. Now, I remember talking about how my nephew, but before we get to my nephew case, because I'm trying to keep it in chronological order. It's easy to remember that way, but I get emotional. I go off on a tangent. Please forgive me if I do that. This is really hard for me because although, again, like it's, my nephew being locked up, I'm not all there mentally. So I'm trying to get it out because I'm trying to get help and bring attention to what's happening with the corruption and the treatment in New Jersey. So I kept my head. I got written up the first time. The assistant criminal division manager was allowed to resign instead of being brought up on charges. And my complaint against her was unfounded, saying that she wasn't raped, even though somebody filed a complaint against her for violating my rights and discriminating against me. So then I kept my head down. Then my nephew case. At the same time with my nephew case being transferred back after it was transferred out, it was a supervisor. This supervisor was very nasty. 9 different complained about her to the assistant criminal division manager and how she talks to them and how she treats them. Right now, she is currently employed as the criminal division manager in Middlesex County. She is in charge of the entire division. She was promoted twice since I filed my lawsuit against her. They think that them promoting her hurts some, like it's basically teaching a lesson. But what it does is it legitimizes my case more because of the bogus charges I was written up on. And the fact that she literally has 2 lawsuits for discrimination, but she was promoted. They're proving my case with every step that they do. They think they're hurting me. In actuality, they are bringing legitimacy to my case because everything they do, I'm talking about it. Now, the probation officers and investigators who are there have to testify against their criminal division manager. Witness tampering, intimidation. How you think that's going to work out? That's not going to stop me from talking. I don't care where you put her. You can make her a judge for all I care. I am going to continue to talk about what she did, how she did it. Corruption is corruption. Crimes are crimes. I don't care who you are. If you violate me or my family, I am going to say what you did. If you don't like how I describe you or you don't like me reporting my interactions with you, you should have treated me better. In the words of Cat Williams said that, you should have treated me better. And since you didn't, I have every right to talk about what you did. In fact, you did it to the point where I filed a lawsuit saying you did it. So it's in federal and state court. So basically, she was a supervisor and she was telling me something about, she's very nasty. She talked to people any type of way. Y'all know how these Karens are in the workplace. I'm not the one. When she would talk to the 9 different people about how they, this one was crying and this one, even how she was talking to another supervisor, she was talking to him crazy. And the black women who was in the office saw how she was talking to a black man who was also a supervisor. We was like looking at her like she done lost her mind. You don't talk to somebody like that. She didn't care. Again, she's the assistant criminal division manager, the manager in the criminal division in Middlesex County right now. She came at me sideways. And I reported her for being racist. I went to at the time, the person that I went to and made a verbal complaint about her racist behavior towards black employees. Myself, right then and there, but it was 9 of us who reported her. The assistant criminal division manager at the time, she is now the criminal division manager in Hudson County, New Jersey. The criminal division manager in Hudson County, Jersey City, New Jersey. She is the criminal division manager. Everybody was promoted. I reported her for being racist and for her talking to me like she was crazy. I don't regret it. I didn't stutter or utter. I don't care. They said, oh, you want to report her? Now, in November of 2017, my daughter, again, my daughter has medical issues. My daughter was out of work. I was out of work a lot to take care of her. And I don't regret that. As a parent, I'm responsible for taking care of my child. She's my child. I'm going to take care of her. And I was written up for having 6 cases being reassigned to somebody else because of me being out to care for my sick child. Now, in the month of November, There are 4 days that were holidays. Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, Election Day, and Veterans Day. Those 4 holidays, let's just hypothetically constitute that as a week. In addition, I was off for another week. I was out of the office. So in a 4-week period, I only worked 10 days, approximately. Let's just say 10 days in November. The month of November, I worked on 29 cases. 6 of those cases had to be given to someone else. Now, my defense was I was over-assigned. You over-assign me so many cases, then I'm out of work because I'm sick. So then you say you give those cases to other people. And the history of the FMLA, they've always given cases. If I'm out because my daughter's sick, they always reassign my cases. So the fact that it was an issue now, it wasn't an issue. It was the fact that I reported the racist for being racist. That was the fact that, oh, you think you're going to do this? So this is your retaliation for reporting that. In November, she sent me an email. She's the assistant. She's the criminal division manager now. At the time, she was a supervisor. She sent the email while I was out on FMLA. My daughter, I had to do a chest x-ray. She had early stages of pneumonia 4 or 5 times. Literally, this was in 2017. Last year in 2022, she was the last time she had pneumonia. She did not get pneumonia or get sick in 2023 because I stopped putting her in outdoor sports, but I wanted her to be active and she likes soccer and things like that. But she's allergic to trees and grass, so, and she has medical issues that cause her to have issues. So when she has issues, I'm taking off work for my child. They thought that as a black woman, they would be able to suspend me for taking off work for my child, and I would just sit there and not say nothing about it. That's where they effed around and found out, because they did what they did, but it was in retaliation for me to report it. Now, it was immediate, all the higher ups got in line, did what they wanted to do. Before that happened, it was a lot of things I wanted to know about this. Now, I wrote about this in my book and it's in my documentary. The bail reform changed. So the amount of time to process a case changed. You had 180 days from the time of arrest to disposition. So they were putting defendants, we were having to supervise them. I was never trained to supervise defendant. I was never trained to I was trained to give drug tests, because if you come in, if you have a drug issue, I can drug test you. But I was never trained to supervise you. I was a report writer. I wrote the reports. I now had a caseload of supervising defendants. So in addition to working on the 29 cases, interviewing defendants, writing reports, now I'm supervising that I never was trained on. I had a whole bunch of other responsibilities that I did to the best of my ability. I did so, in fact, that they're saying I was written up for being incompetent and neglecting my duty. For the year of 2017, I completed over 200 cases. I was tied. It was 4 of us who completed over 200 cases out of the 20 POs. Out of the 4 of us who completed 200 cases, 2 of them was tied. Me and somebody else was the same number of cases. That's how many cases I was completing. I was top out of, I think it was 13 at the time. Out of the however many POs, I was top. They wrote me up for being incompetent. Their information regarding my statistics, the work that I was assigned, the case level of works the cases I was getting, I was the highest assigned PO in the building. I was the highest completed PO in the building. How can I then be, again, fraud is fraud. They thought they were going to get away with it because they were so used to putting false charges on people for charges they didn't commit. They've been getting away with it for a long period of time. We're going to talk about that. I remember I said we're going to talk about money laundering. We're going to talk about, what's his name? Bruce Springsteen. And we're going to talk about the fraud with the charges and why I think RICO should be done here. I'm going to come back in my next video. And we're going to pick up, if I remember, because sometimes I forget. But we're going to pick that up right now.